All right. Dario, hey, it's been a while since I made a video response to one of your videos, but I understand your frustration on this question. It is really, it gets tiring discussing things that are never going to happen. We're more likely to have nature do it for us, i.e., the plague, smallpox. I'm not saying the plague and smallpox, but you know what I mean. Something, the avian flu, something will come in and cut our population down for us. Especially that, as Gary alluded to in one of his gnoozes, that we have cut down a third of the rainforest in the world, which is really scary. As he mentioned, it takes the carbon out of the air, and when they're burning it, they're creating carbon, so it's a double whammy. But all this talk of, would would you be willing to sacrifice a small portion of the population for the greater good, should be tweaked a little bit. Would you be willing to go into a lottery where the population could be you for the greater good? Someone mentioned to me one time that, and I'm not a Trekkie at all. I'm not a Star Trek fan at all. Maybe Bella might have seen this, but um, mentioned that they had an episode from the 60s where these two civilizations, or these two cultures on this planet, let's just say like Earth, with all these different governments, and they had gone through all the things that Earth was going through at the time. And what they decided was that, bombing each other was really unproductive. And instead of bombing each other's cities and destroying all the infrastructure, they would go through and it'd be like, okay, it would almost be like a board game, like Risk or something, okay, we had this move on you, okay, that killed 500 troops, 100,000 people. Then the other government had already agreed, okay, and they would lottery it, and 500,000 people, or 100,000 or 500 people would lose their life. Instead of destroying each other's cities, they would just kill people off. And it made me think. That's what made me think. Well, forget this. Would you sacrifice a small portion of the population for the greater good? Because anybody in their right mind that's not suicidal would say, as long as it's not me, yeah, sure. If it's my, for instance, if it's 5,000 North Koreans and a couple of 100,000 Chinese, sure, go for it. Let's make this world a better place. But if you come knocking at my door, don't expect me to lay my life down. And I think that's what we're running into, is nobody's willing to give up their life. It's hard enough trying to get people to give up their lifestyle for the greater good of humanity. Guilty. I'm certainly not innocent. you know, uh, that's what's so complicated, about these subjects, about these pushing button subjects, and these pipe dreams. It just won't happen. It'll never happen. So what do we do? I saw Gary's video, which was really interesting, talking about, we're just bugs and we have potential, but we're not there yet. And in a way, it's true. I know you. Believe me, my wife's getting into it now. As much American football as I watch, and I like world football myself as well, but I do like American football better. And she's getting to understand it. You son. Hold on a second. Sorry about this. I'm gonna have to put a stop to something. Okay, we got it. So I thought this thing cut me off for a second. So anyway, she's starting to understand the rules and starting to actually like the game a lot. We watched the Super Bowl last night, and I know Gary has a big, he thinks it's unproductive. Which, you listen, it's producing jobs for somebody, not necessarily me, but somebody gets a job out of it. But yeah, at the greater outlook, what does it do? I'll tell you what it does for me. When I sit down, and that was the greatest. I am so happy. Sorry about this. I'm so, these trains come through too many times on my videos. I'm so elated. We had a team that was on the verge of going undefeated, and they were so arrogant. The coach is such a jerk, and they lost yesterday. And the rest of the nation celebrated, except for the people in Boston in that area, because nobody likes arrogance. Okay, so I'm going off track here. What I want to say is, to explain to Gary a little bit, what football does for me is I can see and understand the whole game of American football. And I see a beginning, and I see a finale, and I see, sure, I see some injustices once in a while in the game. But it's so simple compared to what I have to live through, what we have to live through every day in life. It is so refreshing to see something and to just get lost in something like a game to distract you. Sure, it's a distraction, but it's taking a break. Because if you don't take a break, then you'll end up just going crazy. So I went a little bit off there, but that's okay. That's just how I am. I'm a little scattered brained, and when I don't have things written down, I tend to drift. So anyway, I just thought I'd make you a response, throw some stuff out there. Hope you like it.